Have you ever wondered what the weather is like on the other side of the world? While we're gearing up for cooler days in North America, a completely different story is unfolding. Imagine a place where September means flowers are blooming, not leaves falling. This is the reality for everyone living in the Southern Hemisphere. It's a fascinating flip of the seasons, like looking in a mirror where everything is reversed. The weather down there has its own unique personality, full of surprises. Today we're going on a special weather journey south of the equator. We'll visit Australia, Brazil, New Zealand, South Africa, and Argentina, each with its own weather story. We'll see how their spring season is starting and what makes it special. Exploring the Southern Hemisphere helps us understand our planet even better. It reminds us that while we're in one season, millions are living through another. Our trip is your window to the weather down under. We'll talk about sunshine, rain, and everything in between. So get ready to explore the sunshine in South Africa, the breezes in New Zealand, and the changing skies over South America and Australia. The weather is always putting on a show for us to see. Let's pack our virtual bags and begin our adventure into the vibrant, blossoming, and sometimes wild weather of the Southern Hemisphere. Right now, on September 28th, it's springtime in the Southern Hemisphere. This might sound strange to us in the United States, where fall is just beginning. The reason? Earth's tilt. As our planet orbits the sun, sometimes the northern hemisphere is tilted toward the sun, and sometimes the southern hemisphere is. That tilt gives us our seasons, a beautiful dance of science. When we get more direct sunlight, it's spring and summer for us, but fall and winter for the south. Right now, the southern hemisphere is tilting toward the sun. They're moving out of winter and into a beautiful spring. Days are getting longer, temperatures are rising, and nature is waking up. While we're picking pumpkins, people in Argentina and Australia are planting gardens and enjoying more daylight. Their spring began around September 22nd and lasts until late December. When we're deep in winter, they'll be enjoying their warmest summer days. This seasonal flip explains why a friend in Brazil might be talking about a heat wave in January while you're shoveling snow. It shapes lifestyles, farming, and holidays for billions. As we look at the weather down south, remember they're at the exciting start of a new, warmer season. Australia is a continent of weather extremes. In the north, places like Darwin are ending their dry season, humidity is building, and the wet monsoon is on the horizon. On the east coast, cities like Sydney and Brisbane are embracing spring with pleasant temperatures and blooming jacaranda trees. But spring can also bring volatile weather, strong thunderstorms, heavy rain, and hail, especially inland. In the south, cities like Melbourne and Adelaide can see 4 seasons in one day. Sunshine, rain, and chilly winds all in a few hours. Cold air from the Southern Ocean still pushes north, clashing with warming land. People know to always carry a jacket just in case. Western Australia, especially Perth, is famous for its spring wildflowers and Mediterranean climate. Warm, dry days, perfect for the outdoors. But as temperatures rise and the land dries out, bushfire risk increases. Authorities are on high alert, preparing for a potentially dangerous fire season. Australia's spring is a time of beauty but also of powerful natural forces. The weather here is never boring. New Zealand, Australia's neighbor, is a land of dramatic landscapes and equally dramatic weather. Spring, or Kawanga in Maori, brings new life and rapid weather changes. Strong westerly winds sweep the islands, especially in Wellington, one of the world's windiest cities. On the North Island, cities like Auckland see mild, often wet spring days, perfect for newborn lambs dotting the hills. The South Island's Southern Alps split the weather. The west coast is drenched by rain, feeding lush rainforests and glaciers. This orographic lift makes the west wild and green. East of the Alps, cities like Christchurch are drier and cooler, but late-season snow can still surprise. For farmers, spring is crucial. Enough rain for crops, but hoping to avoid damaging frosts. New Zealand's spring is a season of contrasts, shaped by mountains and sea. Locals know to expect the unexpected. It's a time of growth, but also of wild weather. Let's cross the Indian Ocean to South Africa, where spring brings dramatic change. In the northeast, near Kruger National Park, the dry winter is ending and the first spring rains are arriving. Vital for wildlife and new growth. On the Highveld, where Johannesburg sits, spring means warmer days and spectacular afternoon thunderstorms after a dry winter. The first thunder signals the return of green summer months. Down in Cape Town, spring marks the end of the rainy season. The landscape is lush, and wildflowers are in full bloom, drawing crowds. But the dry, hot summer ahead brings water worries and fire risk. Along the East Coast, cities like Durban are warm and humid year-round. Spring is just a step toward an even hotter, wetter summer. The Indian Ocean keeps temperatures high and heavy summer downpours are on the way. Within one country, weather can shift from Mediterranean to subtropical in a day's drive. Oceans and geography shape South Africa's spring in remarkable ways. It's a land of contrasts. Now to Argentina, stretching from tropical north to icy Patagonia. In Buenos Aires, spring is mild and colorful. Parks burst with blooms as winter fades. But the Pampas are famous for intense thunderstorms. Pampero storms bring strong winds, rain, and hail. Residents enjoy beautiful days but watch the skies for sudden storms. In Patagonia, spring is wild and slow to arrive. Winds howl, temperatures stay cool, and snow can still fall in the Andes. The relentless wind defines the region, even as days grow longer. In the far north, near Bolivia and Paraguay, spring is a warm-up for the hot, rainy summer. The first big rains are falling, crucial for crops like soybeans and corn. Farmers watch the timing and amount of rain closely. It's a delicate balance. Argentina's spring is a story of contrasts, gentle in the north, fierce in the south. Weather here shapes daily life and livelihoods. It's a season of renewal and risk. Our final stop is Brazil, a giant shaped by its tropical climate. Most of Brazil doesn't have 4 seasons, just wet and dry. In the Amazon, it's always hot and humid, but the wet season is about to begin, raising river levels. In Sao Paulo and Rio, spring means rising temperatures and humidity. Mornings are sunny, afternoons bring intense thunderstorms and sometimes flooding. For Rio's residents, it's beach season, but they're ready for sudden downpours. Southern Brazil, bordering Argentina and Uruguay, has a more traditional spring, mild, with blooming flowers and some unsettled weather from cold fronts. Farmers are busy planting summer crops, hoping for the right mix of sun and rain. One big story: heat waves are becoming more frequent and intense, especially in central and southeastern Brazil. This spring could see above-average temperatures stressing energy grids and crops. It's a clear sign of our changing climate. Brazil's weather is vibrant, but also a warning of what's to come. The patterns here echo global trends. Spring is a time of both promise and challenge. Southern Hemisphere weather has some unique twists. Storms spin clockwise here, the opposite of the Northern Hemisphere, thanks to the Coriolis effect. Tropical cyclones in Australia look like mirror images of hurricanes in Florida. The Southern Hemisphere is more ocean than land, so weather systems move more freely from west to east. That's why Patagonia's winds are so constant and New Zealand gets strong westerlies, the roaring 40s. Droughts are a recurring story, especially in Australia and South Africa, often linked to El Niño and La Niña climate patterns. These Pacific Ocean shifts can change rainfall across the globe, bringing drought or floods. Scientists watch these patterns closely. The ozone hole over Antarctica is another Southern Hemisphere story. It affects weather by strengthening the polar vortex, which can shift rainfall and temperatures as far north as Australia and South America. Thanks to global action, the ozone hole is healing, but its effects linger. Southern Hemisphere weather is shaped by science, geography, and human impact. It's a powerful reminder of our planet's interconnected climate. Our journey through the Southern Hemisphere's spring comes to an end. We've seen blooming jacarandas in Sydney, thunderstorms in South Africa, lush landscapes in New Zealand, and wild winds in Patagonia. Weather is a global story. While we prepare for winter, the South readies for summer. This balance is all thanks to Earth's tilt and orbit. Different geographies create unique climates, each with its own challenges. Spring down south isn't always calm. It's a season of change and sometimes extremes. Meteorologists everywhere work to keep people safe and informed. Thank you for joining this weather tour. I hope you enjoyed this peek into the vibrant, dynamic weather down under. Our planet's climate is complex and beautiful. Stay safe and keep looking up.